Pentakill. Welcome.
Hello and welcome to the OzLoL Podcast, episode 83. My name is Cat Colossus, and I'm the host of the show, and this week we're going to be talking about patch 5.7, trying to lay it aside in time for patch notes to arrive in 2 days, and then we kill ourselves. And to join me with this fundamental exercise of suicide cult, we've got Victor taking a shot, because that's how hard these patch notes are.
Drink responsibly, kids.
And we've got Stephen Garstone.
Good to be back.
Alright, well, we are part of the Trinity Force Network if you aren't already aware. And our website is ozlol.trinityforcepodcast.com. You can go there and you can press the little button that says iTunes, and then you can go to iTunes Store and you can give us a review because we are giving away RP, free RP. It's all yours. All you need to do is help us to get 30 reviews, iTunes reviews, or, another particular podcasting, whatever you can put a review on. If you do that, and it's not iTunes, not the Australian iTunes Store, let us know. Send us an email, ozlolpodcast@gmail.com. We are now to 20 reviews, courtesy of Erebus Chaos and Aussie Josh, who, by the way, I'm going to read his review. He says, would bang, 10 out of 10. Thanks for the great show.
I'm glad someone recognizes how hot I am.
Yeah. So, yes. Go place a review. If we hit 30 reviews by the end of the month, which is 2 weeks away, let's check. Yep, so
10 days.
10 days. So we'll say we've got another 2 full weeks. If we get to 30 reviews, we'll give away some RP, and if you've given us a review, you're in the draw. So there's only be 30 people to choose from. You got 1 in 30 chance, which is better than Lotto. So do it. We also should let you know that the Oceanic Battle Royale will be back this Thursday. We sort of mentioned it I mentioned it last week, but then completely forgot about it. This week it will be back. So I'll be there. I presume you'll be there, Steve?
Yeah, fate willing.
Okay. And Vic will probably be playing. He'll be lurking.
I'll probably be playing just to show everyone how, just to prove my worth and just to show people, yes, I do actually belong on this show.
Yeah.
I am good enough at the game.
Well,
that's actually why Carrot doesn't play in the games.
Yeah.
Because he's very scared of people showing him up.
Well, since I control all the passwords for all the accounts, I don't feel too bad. I just lock you all out, suckers. It's all right, Vic. If you manage to get this one done, we'll initiate you as a real man. So this will be your way in.
I'm ready to be a real man. It's been so long. I've been a woman all my life. Would you believe that?
Yeah, I would actually believe it. I don't find it hard to believe at all. You can also go to the Trinity Force Network subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/TForce Network. We always have a show discussion there, and all the other shows post their stuff as well. Other people ask questions, and it's a pretty nice little sort of sub-community of League of Legends players. There's also the Trinity Force TeamSpeak, which is you go into the TeamSpeak server thing. Ooh, Vic's got another shot of what is that, by the way?
It's a layered shot that I know how to make now. It's coffee liqueur on the bottom, orange baits in the middle, and Bailey's Irish cream.
That sounds
on top.
Terrible.
It's actually very delicious.
Okay. So yeah, go to the Trinity Force, the server thing in the TeamSpeak client, whatever you call it. Go to ts.trinityforcepodcast.com. That's the server. So there's a OzLoL room. There's rooms for all the podcasts, and well as I think Filthy Casuals are there as well for World of Warcraft. And
there's even a SWTOR room, which is amazing. I hang out in there. So if you wanna come talk to Victor while he's playing SWTOR, that's where I'm hanging out.
Did you make the room?
No, some dude named Jeffy.
Good on
so
you,
shout outs to Jeffy. Come and hang out in his SWTOR room called Jeffy's Light Sticks.
There you go. There's probably other. I think say there's CS:GO and Smite as well. So if you're in any game you're into, there'll be people chilling. Yeah. And we should also make mention of the Optimus Poppy Teespring campaign. So if you listen to the Trinity Force podcast, you'd know that they previously had a King Declawed purple t-shirt, which we didn't mention at all, but I'm mentioning now so I can cover my butt. They've now got a new t-shirt, Optimus Poppy. So if you go to teespring.com/tforcepoppy, you can check it out. It's the blue color I quite like. I'm actually tempted to buy one. If you actually, if they reach, I think it was 50 shirts sold, Optimus Tom from the T-Force LCS rundown, he will play a whole day of nothing but Poppy, which if you're not unfamiliar with who Optimus Tom is, he works for Riot
Shame on
in
you.
the LCS, and he hates Poppy. So I think Adam, the host of Trinity Force, said he'd also join in and play nothing but Frozen Mallet.
It's just Frozen Mallet
and I think if they reached, it was like 100 shirt sales, there was going to be like a challenger team that was going to come in. They were going to do some in-house games with it, like a NA challenger team. So shenanigans to be had if you go and buy that shirt. It's only I think it's like $20 American dollars, and they're quite good.
So only about 430 Australian.
Yeah, pretty much. Monopoly money.
It's not too bad at the moment.
Yeah. So yes, teespring.com/tforcepoppy. And I think that probably does it for the... Oh, I should actually mention donations. So if you want to contribute to the podcast, we always want more money to help improve things and get better webcams and get recording some microphone. It all helps with the running of our show. You can donate. If you do donate, feel free to leave a question. Not that we ever refuse to answer questions, but if you want us to talk about something, or there's something you want to see us do within reason and within the terms of service of the Twitch itself, we'll make it happen. So
yeah, like things like me playing Vi, that's never going to happen. So don't bother asking.
I don't know. Seeing you rage quit might be fun.
Target. You will play Vi if you get a donation of blah.
Yeah. I'll actually play Teemo if you donate money. So if anybody donates money,
where's my card?
Make him suffer.
Worth.
Yeah. So so donation button. Just go to OzLoL Podcast. OzLoL.TrinityForcePodcast.com. And you can click on the donation button. And of course, we have a lot of previous episodes there as well if you want to check them out. All right, let's talk about some Oceanic news. Oh, actually, I think I'm also going to be on the Trinity Force podcast this Thursday morning.
Really?
I will be, yeah. Adam's asked me to come on again. So I think I'll be talking about OPL. And, so don't tell my boss, but I've taken the morning off to talk League of Legends. I'm going to be...
it's funny. It's funny.
Sick.
Because, like, Adam only knows you, so he only asks you
That's
to come on. Like, I reckon he's absolutely terrified of getting me on. He doesn't want to run the risk of any Russian.
I have actually hosted the Trinity Force podcast. Like, I've actually been the host for one episode.
Yeah, because whenever Adam was absent, like, you were the only other person, like, who's just like, yeah, I'm not at work. Like,
yeah. Well, now I am at work, so we have to take the morning off. But that's all right. So anyway, Thursday morning, so it will be, I think it will be about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then about 9 a.m. for me. So make sure you come along on this channel.
Yeah, I might actually be home then, so I can probably watch it. In fact, you know what? Sneak me in. I'll ruin the whole thing for you.
Sure, yeah. We'll actually switch. Like I'll sub out and you jump in without them noticing.
Yeah. I'll jump in and be like, "Hey guys, welcome to Trinity Force Podcast."
It's funny because I've actually got the rest of the week off, so I could join you.
Maybe we just take over the show.
Take over.
Yeah.
Welcome to the OzLoL Podcast Trinity Force Edition.
We're doing it.
Yeah. Aussie takeover.
Right now, Potophobia is having nightmares. He's His bed. What's going on? No, Australian accents everywhere.
Australians, Russians, no.
That's it. Well, I've actually got the stream key, so we theoretically could just kick him off, like just by turning on the stream while they're going.
Do like the LCS
we just do that?
and casters takeover.
Yeah, that's it.
That was so funny. I remember that.
We can only do that if we all start yelling all at once, like they did with the Korean style commentary.
Oh, Pentakill!
That sort of stuff. Alright, let's talk about something actually significant. Let's talk about Chiefs at International Wildcard. So, they've announced the schedule for the International Wildcard, which actually starts Wednesday, like 12 a.m. Wednesday morning. So, basically midnight Tuesday. Midnight Wednesday, I guess. So, they'll be playing...
isn't it midnight Tuesday?
Midnight... I don't know.
Wednesday morning?
Yeah, 11:59 Tuesday or 12:01 a.m. Wednesday. Take your pick. So basically, the middle of the night tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
So then they'll be playing. I think there's 8 games that day. So we've got the first off they'll be playing. Now I can't actually pronounce it. The Turkish team, BJK, I think. They'll be playing first up. So they're the first match, the 4th match, which they'll be playing against. Now let me see if I can pronounce. So they'll be playing INTS Esports from, which is I'm guessing that must be the Latin American team. No, Seaball. I don't know, somewhere. Some people from somewhere, and then the last match they're playing. They must be playing the Chaos Latin Gamers.
I think you got that back to front. Chaos Latin Gamers is the first match.
They said I think they said it switched.
Oh, really?
On the Chiefs' Twitch,
Wait,
yeah.
How did I miss that?
Twitter.
Okay.
Because you don't know how to use Twitter on your computer, apparently.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you need to get TweetDeck friend. TweetDeck's your friend is the
like I've got this week off, and I'm like, do I watch the first game, sleep for a bit, and then wake up for the last game and watch the VOD for the middle one? I'm thinking, how much sleep am I prepared to lose over these games? Because I really want to watch them live. I really want to watch them live. Probably won't make it. I'll probably pass out halfway through them. But that actually makes me worry a little bit for Chiefs, because they're Australian also. They live in the exact same time zone, well, plus or minus an hour and a half thanks to Darwin time zones. But, it's 1:30 a.m. for them. No, it's 12 o'clock.
Well, they're actually in Turkey. You didn't realise?
Yeah.
You didn't actually realise it's at land? So they've been there since, last weekend.
Yeah, I know, but, so their body clock...
maybe.
Has it had enough time to adjust?
Well, at least they'll be playing at least...
Always do, and they're sleeping through the entire day and then going to sleep.
It's true.
Then waking up to game in the midnight.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, it will be... this is one of the many reasons why you should live in Western Australia, because for me, it's 9 p.m, much more friendly. So I'll be able to watch a couple of games before I go to bed.
What's your ping?
What's my ping?
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. Well, it's on fiber optic, so I'm like, stream where I like. So yeah. Anyway.
Mine's not
anyway. So yes, starting on Wednesday morning, Chiefs will be playing. So make sure you check that out. I don't think there's really much else. We can't really talk about any other teams because we don't know any other teams. Otherwise, we would. So let's get into patch 5. Unless there's something else, some news that somebody wants to bring up.
If the way they display their brackets is the same as, just going by this visual alone, does that mean Chiefs are blue side 3 games and not purple side at all?
Maybe.
That's how it looks.
Are they a blue side team?
It does actually look like that. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, they're very good. They're very good playing on blue side because they're very good at the pick ban phase and getting that first priority pick.
Yeah.
That just all right, we've got this one pick that we're going to go for, and then give the 2 picks over, and then they can counter pick with the rest. So, Chiefs I think will benefit from blue side if that's what it is. I mean, if it's not, then whatever. But something to note.
So and actually there must be. I wonder how many games they're actually playing. So let me just quickly see. So they've got day 1. Yeah. So there's basically they're playing 3 games. Day 1. They're playing 1 game day 2. So that'd be, Thursday morning. And then 2 games day 3. So that'd be Friday morning. Then the weekend with the actual finals and the semi-finals. So. Yeah, a fair few games to be seen. It'll be interesting to see how they go. I guess it's... I'm trying to think back to 2013, because how many teams were playing in 2013? It was just 4 teams, wasn't it?
3.
Was it? Because last year they had 3.
Dark Passage, Legacy, and Russian Force.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the year before.
I don't know shit about anything. I wasn't around back then. I didn't even exist.
Fine. We found you under the cabbage patch in 2014.
I was just this farmer who'd never even heard of League of Legends or internet. Or computers.
I'm just thinking that this is actually like the most comprehensive international world card. Like in terms of the actual scale of the tournament. Like it's probably the biggest we've ever seen. So it's good. It's good stuff. All right. Oh, join us in the TeamSpeak, OzLoL Teams, or the Trinity Force Network TeamSpeak. I'll be in the OzLoL room. You can come join us and chat if you want to participate in discussion.
Me and Steve are going to be cool cats and have our own little club, and only Mod Bros invited.
Fine, be like that. Whatever. Didn't need you anyway.
Yeah. Diesel Fire can come too.
Let's talk patch 5.7 since we've gasbagged enough about that. So we talked about some of them last week. I only talked about one or two. We're going to talk about the rest this week. We're going to start off talking about Fizz.
Yep. Just before we get started with the patch notes, I need to perform my ritual.
Yep, it's that traumatic. You should. Are you supposed to hold it over your head?
How long has this been a ritual? Like 40 minutes?
So I hear Fizz has saw some changes.
Yeah. So the changes we've seen in Fizz, they've essentially reversed what they did with his W. So previously in 5.2, they switched the passive damage from the damage from the passive on his W to the active on his W, and now they've switched it back. So now his passive is a bit of base damage. I think it's pretty much unchanged. Yeah, it's unchanged. And now he deals 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% of targets missing health over 3 seconds. And then his active... Actually, the active has now got an AP ratio to compensate for the lack of missing health damage. So same base damage, between 10 and 50, and now with a 0.25 ability power ratio for the active. Pretty huge buff, really, because, that passive damage is nasty.
Well... you'll notice that if you read it, it says target does that percentage of missing health over 3 seconds. But if you read what it used to be for the active, it was just targets missing health. So every time he hit, there you go, 8% is going to start ticking off, 8% is going to tick off, 8% is going to tick off. Now it's 8% is going to start ticking over 3 seconds, and every time you hit him again, it's going to reapply that 8% missing health damage over time. So there is a bit of a difference to what it used to be.
Well, yeah, but it's still doing... So does it now actually refresh if you hit them before the end of the 3 seconds, or does it just apply another stack of the damage?
It just refreshes it. The old one used to do 8%.
Yeah, okay, I see.
8%. Now it does 8%.
Yeah.
8%.
Yeah, okay. So actually, the passive damage, like the missing health damage, is actually reduced effectively if you're attacking more than once every 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's a direct attack against on hit Fizz.
Yeah.
Which was basically just the tank shredding machine. Which was becoming a real pain in the ass for Maokais across the world.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was weird to see all these what is it? Bork, Blade of the Ruin King, Trinity Force,
and then Randuins and Spirit Visage or Banshees, and it's like, that's not Fizz, that's not what he's supposed to be at all.
Yeah. So, does this, Steve, do you reckon this brings back sort of old Assassin, AP, Fizz? What's your take on this particular thing? Because, he is a problematic champion.
Well, this change is like take backsies basically from the last one, so he'll continue being as good with this as he was previously, but they changed his ultimate as well so that it amplifies all damage instead of just magic damage. So I think he's still got the build options available there, I think, but I don't know, Assassins are kind of slipping in and out of meta at the moment, so really the meta that we're in, he could show up. He could not show up. Who knows? Everything's up in the air. It's going to be really hard to give you a definite answer on anything. I
can see well-known Fizz players picking up Fizz, and I can also see people picking up Fizz probably as a counter pick, depending upon who gets picked in the mid lane or wherever the hell he's going to end up after this patch.
Yeah, well, I don't think Riot ever intended for him to be played in top lane or jungle. He can be played in the jungle. He's a bit of a risky kind of cheese pick, and it can be used as kind of a flex. But I really think that they just want him to stay in the mid lane where he's nice and predictable. They don't need to worry about that troll pole stuff coming from places where they can't balance from. So, yeah, I like it. I like the 8% of missing health on hit compared to over 3 seconds. That's pretty big. That's a lot less burst. I like it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I guess like
used to do.
Not that I've played mid that often, but I guess it's one of those things that in like the sort of trading situations in a mid lane, he walks up, while he's going to auto attack, to get some CS, and then he hits you and then walks off. I mean, that's my memories of the few times I've played mid Fizz. That passive damage really hurts. It adds up over time. So, I guess you just gotta if you're playing mid, you just need to watch out for it. That that if he comes to CS, that he doesn't also whack you as well, because if he's doing that every every 20 seconds or so, it's gonna grind you down over time.
This is one of those abilities that just gives him a bit of relevance after his burst has gone through.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make him crazy strong, but it's something to think about. Like, like once he's on cooldown, he's still doing something. Not like your LeBlancs who blow it all and then they've got to hang back for a bit. Like, Fizz is always going to be in the fight.
All right, Garen. So he's had a straight up buff to the cooldown of his ultimate. So at rank 1, it's now 120 instead of 160 seconds, and at rank 2, it's 100 instead of 120. So nice little buff for Garen. Obviously,
feels good.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously not going to make him a top tier top laner, but
no,
it's going to make him more.
It's like that that last buff Garen got a while ago, where his healing just got increased. It's enhanced Garen's identity. That enhanced Garen's identity quite a bit. It's like, now my passive actually feels like something. Like, that was amazing. And now 120 second cooldown. That's what was that? 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. So being able to using Demacian Justice before was like, and then it's on cooldown forever. Like, you don't get it back for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. Now it's back a bit sooner, and helps him abuse lane a bit better, which is something Garen used to do a lot, but now that there are more interesting top laners, more ranged top laners, things like that, Garen isn't quite the bully he used to be.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said, since episode 1, he's a really fun champion. I think this actually probably, it doesn't fix the fundamental problem, which is he has to run up and hit you, and then stand on you as he spins. Like, if that from my perspective, that's his primary problem of why he's not better than what he is, because he's actually incredibly tanky, especially with his W. He's
Courage. One of the tankiest.
Yeah. He gains
definitely
bonus armor and MR. His bonus MR and magic resistance are increased by 20%. That's the passive. And then he reduces incoming damage by 30%, and he gets 30% crowd control. Crowd control reduction for the duration. That's makes him so hard to kill. It's just that a lot of top laners wouldn't care because they'd dash away, or they just kind of just be able to avoid kind of what he does. But I mean, if he's the kind of champion that you can. Not that many people play him regularly, so you almost could become a Garen main and actually probably stomp pretty hard, because people just aren't prepared for how tough he is. And late game, he's got a Sunfire Cape. He deals reasonable damage, but you just can't kill him. I mean, and even if you get to the point where you might be able to kill him, all you need to do is back off, wait 4 seconds, and you're getting 2% of your maximum health back every second. It's just ridiculous.
4%. Percent max health.
No, it's 2%.
That's 4%.
I'm looking at the wiki right now. It says 2% of his maximum health. It goes 0.4, 0.8, 2%. Because now it scales up, and so I'm
probably factoring in
Spirit Visage.
No, the other one, the regen health item, Warmogs.
Oh yeah, Warmogs is Actually, that's right. Yeah. So if you give him Warmogs and Spirit Visage,
going Spirit Visage and Warmogs on him, because he's a tank based off health. Let's do it.
Yeah, and Sunfire Cape. So you go Sunfire Cape, gives you armor. Spirit Visage gives you health and MR. Warmogs, you're never going to kill him.
And it's really weird to think that Garen could be considered a possible pick. Like, maybe not in professional play, but the tank meta, like in a ranked 5s game, a Garen pick into the right enemy champ could work really, really well, like or a particular comp. You wouldn't see it in professional play just because of all the problems that you were listed before. Like his kite ability and like his... If he's not getting in there, then it's trouble. But he can sustain like a beast. The tank meta is huge, and few people do it better than Garen.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
the defensive abilities are just kind of gloss, really, when you think about just what he brings. Like he could do decent damage, and when he hits his R, it's nice and scary. But really, just him fitting into a tank team comp is just terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I want to say about Garen is another a problem with him in the tank meta is that he's going to be playing against tanks who probably have more peel than he can run through. So like what Garen wants to do is find his way onto the back line and just spin for days. And just keep spinning.
Yeah.
If there's Maokai punching him off the carry all the time he tries to come in and rooting him on the ground and whatever, then Garen's got problems again. So, sorry, Garen, there is no meta for you.
Yeah. But on the upside, he shines when there's no, when there's not a 5v5. Because certainly, especially low level ranked, you don't always have all these big 5v5 matchups. Like, it's quite often just a continuous skirmish. And in those situations, Garen's actually going to do pretty well because, he's not going to have layered CC to hold him off. You might be fighting one or two people and you're just so tanky, they can't kill you. And, I mean, the cooldown on his Q is low enough that you can just continually keep running. You get a bit of CDR on you. They're just not going to be able to stop you. So, I guess it's a situational pick. Like, in certain situations, he's actually going to be really good. You just need to play him so you can learn those situations and know what sorts of comps you're going to work well against. But yeah, I really quite like him.
Yeah. I'd like to see a change in the future where Garen gets some kind of reward for killing someone with Demacian Justice. I mentioned this on the last show, like something like a burst of movement speed or something. Like when he kills someone, good work, Garen, you killed a dude, here's your reward. Because, I don't know, I feel like that would be the best way to help out Garen is to give him an extra mechanic. Because Garen does the same thing every time. He runs in, he spins. Like, that's all he does. He runs in, silences a dude, and starts spinning for days and doesn't die. So I'd like to see more mechanics added to Garen just to give him a bit more versatility, and then then he become less of a situational pick and more of a hey, Garen's up, maybe he can work here. I don't know.
All right. Let's go to we got Hecarim. So they've nerfed just 2 straight up nerfs to his general stats. So his base health regen has gone from 9.26 to 7, and his base mana regen goes from 7.5 to 6.5.
Nerf.
Yeah, straight up nerfs to top lane Hecarim. I would imagine that the mana regen nerf would probably in the end hurt him more than the health regen, because he's got the regen coming out of his W, but it's he's going to be mana deprived.
In conjunction, they're a good nerf, because if Hecarim has... For top lane Hecarim, if he has to keep using W to keep him sustained, then he's going to have a lot of mana issues. Hecarim typically wants to be able to use his W... he doesn't even want to put a point in it early if he doesn't have to. Like, he wants to get 2 in Q and an extra 1... Well, he wants to get 2 in Q, 1 in E, just so he can beat the crap out of the person. If he's forced to keep using W, he's going to run out of mana. Because he's got less health regen... He's probably going to have to use W more often. Because he's got mana regen, he's lost a bit of mana regen, he won't be able to use his Spirit of the Dread as often as he can, as he would need to. So, and I'd probably make his counter picks a bit better into him. I still think the matchups he's particularly good into, he's going to have trouble. I mean, the matchups he's still good into, he's still going to be very good into.
Yeah, I think he's still strong because his regen was never really his. My goodness, how do we deal with this Hecarim problem? like he's still going to be used exactly for what he's currently being used for. This is just kind of bringing him into line. I remember it was about 2 years ago now when Riven was in a similar situation to Hecarim was, and they nerfed her health regen like by like 8 points or something. It's like just stop it. No,
Yeah.
like we've got to. How else are we going to deal?
I
with
remember
this?
that nerf and just look at you going, yeah, I
yeah.
can't believe anybody had it that high to begin with.
Yeah,
It was
it's pretty
ridiculous.
crazy.
I mean, it seems like I'm just looking at the pro builds stuff for Hecarim, and everybody's starting off with Crystalline Flask anyway. So I guess in that regard, if you're starting off with that item, probably not as big a deal. You just have to be a little bit more careful once you finish
you'd
using
normally
it.
start Flask because you have decent base stats that you can get away with going for the sustain over it, and you probably need the sustain a bit better. Like a typical Gangplank start item would be Flask. Not because Gangplank has such an amazing early game that he can shoot the shit out of people, deal millions of damage, and just keep his mana topped up, but because Gangplank's just got such a pain in the ass when it comes to casting, because if you're not farming with Q, then you're running out of mana all the time because it chunks you go whoop, 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 whoop. So Flask starts are normally just for lane sustain.
Well, I mean, a lot of top laners start off with Flask. I mean, Kassadin, Ryze, Maokai.
Heaps of people.
Yeah.
Heaps of top laners start with Flask. It's like the new thing, right? Well, I don't know if it's a new thing, but it's a really good start, Flask. I recommend if you're not starting Flask, ditch the Doran's Shield, because Doran's Shield ain't that good, friend.
Well, not against casters and tanks that aren't actually trading with any with auto attacks as regularly as
I mean the only
Renekton's and Aurelias and Shyvanas of the old.
Yeah, the only items I really start with in top lane at the moment are Cloth 5 if it's that kind of matchup, or Flask. They're the only things I really go for. Sometimes on Maokai I'll start a Doran's Ring, but that's to steal a Wraith Camp from the enemy if I can get away with it.
I can't actually really think of anybody you'd take Doran's Shield to begin with. Like, I can't. Yeah, I think you probably.
I mean,
I really
like,
haven't been paying that much attention to top lane builds lately, so I can't really comment on it.
If I was into
in
if
general,
I was playing into like a Fiora or something, I might think about going Doran's Shield. But even then, I think well, if I go Cloth 5, then I sustain better and I'm still blocking a lot of damage. Like,
I used to take it a lot on Leona, but it's like, well, I'd rather just take Relic Shield because that gives me sustain and it gives me gold. Yeah. And it builds into something that I want to use. So
I mean, Doran's Shield used to have
crazy regen,
10.5 or something.
Yeah, and that's why it was so good, because you just be like, yeah, shoot me, and I'll just regen it. But now it doesn't do that to quite the same extent.
Yeah, but, Doran's Shield, it's not where it's at. I don't know why we're talking about Doran's Shield. We're supposed to be talking
I just thought I'd bring it up because might as well keep talking.
I'm the one who brought it up, but
yeah.
Hecarim, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
He lost some regen.
The eternal balancing scales of Kassadin have been tweaked yet again. So the empowered stack duration of his ult has gone from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. So essentially, the period of time you have to use Riftwalk again to build those stacks, or alternatively, the period of time where you need to wait to use it again without burning all your mana has now been reduced. So, it's a little change. I don't think he's going to make him.
I think he's getting very close.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think because this change, while the number itself isn't completely mind blowing, it's one of those things where people are going to wake up and the meta's going to shift a little bit here, the meta's going to shift a little bit there, and then, oh my god, when did Kassadin become so powerful? It's going to be one of those things in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're starting to get it, from previous patch notes, it's sounding like it's getting to the point where if they can't make this work now, they're just going to have to start from scratch. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with that.
They're gonna have to change him eventually. Even though they changed him not that long ago, they did this big rework on Kassadin, and down goes the silence. Your W now that's an active bam and whatever. And It's gonna
Well, it
it's gonna
basically
happen
just
again.
changed him from one OP champion into another.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, now you have to build different items. Go.
But see, like
Yeah.
the current Kassadin deals more damage than the former Kassadin that was really overpowered, because
And
the
has better
current
late game
Cass
scaling.
yeah the current Kassadin can cast his ultimate on 4 stacks, and for those who don't know, every time Kassadin ults, his next one costs more mana, but it's a little bit stronger, by about 60 damage or something. And that'll add up over 4 times. And now that it's only an 800 mana cast, as opposed to a 1200 mana cast, which is what it used to be, which you'd maybe get 1 off formerly, but now you can get about 2 or 3 off. And that's a lot of damage, a lot of burst damage. I mean, think like Kassadin jumping on the Callistas, they just gone.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the probably the big difference for is the early game for Cassidy. Like, level 6 roams are going to be a lot easier now compared to what they were. Because, I mean, once you get to level 18, you're going to have because you can build more mana, so you're going to be building a rower, maybe building a Seraph's Embrace.
Yeah.
You're going to have so much mana, it doesn't matter anyway, where it's the level 6 where you haven't got that mana built up, you probably don't have your rower yet. That's when it's going to make a big difference. So, yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, well, when I've got my mana items, when I've got my fully stacked Seraph's Embrace and my fully stacked Rod of Ages and whatever other mana items I pack in there, and I'm sitting on like 3.5k mana or whatever it is, like I'm trying to stay on 4th stacks as often as possible, just so I have that huge burst of damage when I come out and go BAM.
Yep.
Like I want that to happen because there's so much damage there, and it doesn't hurt me as bad to cast on 4 stacks like it used to. You were casting on 4 stacks before. You wouldn't have mana. You would have no mana. Doesn't matter how many times you hit someone with your W, you would not have any mana. Do we want to talk about Maokai?
Yes, let's talk about Malco. So, we patch notes up. I didn't actually try out Caston in Earth. I should have done that. But anyway, I have to wait till next year. Alright, so the health restore on his passive has been essentially nerfed in the early, like a little bit in the early game. So previously it was 7% of maximum health restored after he gets those 4 spells cast around him. Now it's at level 1 it's 5%, 6% at level 7, 7% at level 13. So I don't think that's unreasonable. It's a lot of free sustain depending who you're playing against. Like, someone who's only got cooldowns, you're going to get they're going to use their abilities a lot more than others, but yeah.
It'll hurt you more into your Tryndamirs.
Say again?
It'll hurt you more now when you're playing against Tryndamere.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. I was sad. This is one of those things that I get sad when I see, because Maokai is one of my main champs at the moment because I have so much fun on Maokai. I was sad when I saw it. 5% at level 1 to 3, that sort of area. That's around 50 HP, like before your first back. That's about a 50 HP heal, 5%. I can't remember what 7% was. I think it was something like 80 or 90 or something. Like it was some number that when you hear me say, it's like, oh, that's not much. Well, level 1, it's pretty considerable. And playing against him, it's like, dude, I just did that massive trade with him, and now he's just gotten all that HP back. Like, what a pain in the ass. Like, my whole trade, I got nothing out of it.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, 0, 5. So now, just on your base health, you're going to get back 46 health on the what it was previously, so 928 times 0.07. So you get like 20 less health just on your base health at level 6. So, I mean, that could mean the difference between life and death, but it's not.
It does when you're Tryndamere.
Well, yeah, it's true, yeah. But it's, it's not. Theoretically, it's not going to destroy him as a viable pick.
I'm still having a lot of success on Maokai. And because, like, late game is still one of the tankiest pricks out there.
Yeah.
And when it comes to late game, hey, he's still healing for a good chunk of 300 or whatever HP it was at late game.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Twisted Advance with the maximum health damage on a low cooldown and his ultimate. And those neither of which have been touched.
Yeah, and being able to punch people off his carries every couple of seconds is pretty great too.
So, all right. Next up, we have Morgana's got VFX updates. Nidalee. So Nidalee's base health has been reduced by 30. and her health per level has gone by from 90 to 10. So a little bit risky. I mean, seems to be targeted at jungle Nidalee, making her a bit more vulnerable in the early game, in her first clear, I guess, which is good things.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't played that much ranked, but I don't think I've actually seen a whole lot of jungle Nidalee. Certainly not at my level, so I don't think it's going to make much difference to where I'm at. But I'd be interested to know how it goes for others, because from what I've understand of people who are in plat and higher, like, she's just been an absolute menace.
Yeah, well, Nidalee is now what Elise used to be. She's like this AP jungler that can just she can just do so much damage and requires a completely different itemization to any other threat on the team. Whereas mostly you're seeing tanks come out of the jungle these days, so you just need to work on positioning and less on the itemization and more on your playstyle. Nidalee is, what kind of playstyle do you take against a Nidalee? You dodge your spears? Like, that's... Yeah, there's not much you can do about that, so...
Yeah.
Nidalee is at the top of the AP pile in the jungle. Everyone else who's making appearances is either tank or hard initiation, so she's definitely worth keeping on the radar, even if she's not number one in your particular elo range.
Yeah, I guess because she's one of the few, like, she's probably the only jungler at the moment that's dealing a lot of damage. Cause you got your Sejuani, which has a decent amount of damage. You got your Nautilus, who's gets to a point when there's no damage coming out of him, and whatever else is being played. Nidalee provides the magic damage, which you're not getting from a lot of places other than maybe mid lane, depending upon who gets picked in mid lane. Really, I mean, Cho'Gath's out at the moment. What's he got? A big chunk of true damage. Nidalee's still throwing spears from max range, chunking people's HP, no matter what kind of build you got going. Unless you got a Banshees, okay. Yeah, well, block the whole spear.
That one spear.
That one spear.
And in 5 seconds, there'll be another one.
Yeah, because she throws spears, chase her down, she runs away.
Yep.
Okay. Can't get on top of her. Damn it, I've gotten really low. She's got execute damage as well. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Strong all in, strong poke, strong execute. Oh! Yeah. Runs away, you can't catch her, real pain in the ass. Always going to be a pain in the ass.
AKA the Nidalee we've always seen.
Yes.
I mean, I guess the incentive now is to go in hard, try and find her at a second buff and kill her, because she'll be a lot lower going into that. Unless she goes back, she's going to be a lot lower going into that second buff. So, good opportunity if you're playing a Vi, or if you're playing... probably Vi would be a good one. I imagine... Well, even Nord, I guess, with his lockdown, trying to find the second buff.
Nautilus has a lot of damage in his low levels, because he gets a lot out of his shield, because he's got a dot.
Yeah.
Steve can probably back me up on this one. He played an ARAM as Nautilus, and he was like, oh my god, that dot damage.
Yeah.
I was like,
it was pretty crazy.
And because you're not moving, like, he'd probably be... A level 3 Nautilus would probably be able to hold her down, even a level 2 Nautilus. Because of his...
All you need is one of your non-shield abilities, and you can lock them down.
Yep. I mean, even a late game. So if you say they've taken away 180 HP, or 170 HP from a level 18, so that's a fair bit of health. Yeah, for a champion that's probably not going to be building. Yeah, that's it. So she's not. I mean, what is her jungle build at the moment anyway? I mean, does she sort of build a couple of damage and then go tanky, or is it just straight up damage?
Nautilus.
No, Nidalee.
Nidalee, because you said he, and was like, huh?
Oh, sorry.
Magus, Rabadons, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was.
She'd probably be able to build Ludens at the moment. She's like, Jace won't really build a lot of tank items just because he's moving around all the time and he's hard to catch. I feel like it's the same for her as well. She's hard to catch. She can just poke the shit out of you, and she can choose the safe opportunities to all in, and you're probably not going to win that all in if you're alone and low health.
I mean, looking at pro builds, a lot of Roa. You got Morellos, you got Lichbane. So yeah, I mean, it looks like they're building a Roa. So I guess that's going to negate the impact of that reduction of the per level health loss. So
Okay.
Let's talk. Well, talk quickly about. Well, we'll talk about Teemo because it always makes Steve's heart glad and always makes me cry on the inside. So the way the blind works for Quinn and Teemo has now been changed, so it's just more accurate. So theoretically, they've got their blinding abilities now better.
Or make more sense, I guess.
Yeah. So it's a slight technical thing. So essentially, like, it just changes when it detects the blind, so it's actually more in line with when the actual attack has been given. So
yeah, it's quite difficult to actually read what it does. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be misinterpreting this. Because I haven't actually gotten to play Teemo since this change has come in either. So, but if someone auto attacks while Teemo, if an auto attack is already in the air after, and then they are blinded before it hits, the original attack will now still hit.
Well, that's what it used to do. Now it won't hit. So basically, the point at which the attack is launched. So previously would be it would check the blind.
That's a gangplank v Teemo nerf. Oh.
Yeah, so basically, like, what would happen is previously you'd check it to see if you're blinded, like when you clicked, like essentially when you click to hit them, you know, when the missile would leave the ranged champion's weapon, sort of thing. Now it checks it before you actually hit them. So essentially, it's more accurate. Like it makes you don't get situations where one stray attack will polish them off. When they thought they were blinded. So, I mean, blind's a pretty good ability. I guess increasing the reliability will significantly help those champions if they were any good to begin with, which I guess they're kind of not. For other reasons.
It's a gangplank nerf, man. I'm sad. Now Teemo can blind me mid-shooting him. God, that's
well, I mean, I guess we do see the occasional Teemo at a pro level, so maybe that will make a difference, but...
Yeah, maybe if Reggie's trolling the other team. Rek'Sai.
Yeah, Rek'Sai. So the ratio on her Q goes from 0.3 to 0.2, and the cooldown on the reuse of her tunnels now scales down. So at rank 5, you can go through the tunnels every 6 seconds. So that's a nice little thing, particularly in sort of team fights where you sort of there's a bit of backwards and forwards, where you can sometimes set up some tunnels. That's going to be pretty helpful.
Yeah. I think it'll help the late game kind of map control side of Rek'Sai. Like being able to throw down one every 6 seconds compared to every 10 seconds.
Oh, no, but it's not...
reusing
It's
tunnels.
reusing them. So, I mean, it's one of those things that there's not that many circumstances where you would... Like, tell you, it's going back through a tunnel that you've already created. That, as in, you've just gone through. So, I mean, it's kind of a situational thing. Like, there's not that many times where you're going to want to go through a tunnel and then want to almost immediately go back.
It's theoretically upping her mobility at the cost of 0.1 of a damage.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So, I mean, there's probably like maybe 5% of the time that, like, out of all the times any Rek'Sai is going to use the tunnels, maybe there's 5% of those. She'll now be able to use the tunnel again. Like, it's probably just marginal at best, but it is a buff. So
probably gonna make her prioritize more tank now, in which she already really prioritized a bit of tank just to initiate and knock everyone up, and then do it again a few seconds later, I guess. And that is AOE damage behind the Q, so it's not like you read it and you go, duh, 55 plus 0.2 bonus attack, that's nothing, but that's to everyone standing around her, so it is still a bit of damage, and there's still true damage behind her E, so there's still damage in there, even if you do build a bunch of tank stats, but less damage, more mobility.
Yep. Shen, so the cooldown on his ultimate has been reduced by 20 seconds at rank 1. Rank 1 and rank 2 and rank 3 it's reduced by 40 seconds. So that's a pretty huge thing to be able to have Shen be able to ult 40 seconds more, more often.
Yeah. I really do think this is like a troubleshooting patch change. Like they're making Shen's ult available more frequently, so they can finally fix that bug where it doesn't work. They're just trying to get enough data.
Yeah, that's it.
Just
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
everyone out there to play
Yeah.
him again.
I mean, top lane is pretty tanky at the moment. Theoretically, Shen should be in the mix at some point.
He's
And
my,
I mean,
he's
this
my personal favorite. Like when
Yeah.
I play top lane, if Tryndamere isn't a good matchup, it'll be Shen. Like, so he's my go-to, and he's always great. Like, because even if you're not, if you're like 10 CS behind in lane, all it takes is one good stand united taunt to turn a game around.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you, and that's it. Also frees you up, so you don't need to take teleport. But if you do take teleport, you've got so much more control. Like, how many times have you guys watched a pro game, been listening to their analysis, and they've talked about how one team has teleport advantage because they were forced back. So now the enemy top laner has teleport, and the enemy and their lane opponent doesn't. So that means that team can make a play for Baron, or they can do something really divey and stuff. So yeah, Shen can do that plus more, and fits the current tanky meta style, and benefits from the new Sunfire style too. So
Yeah. I feel like
I mean, he's-
season.
Sorry.
You know, season 3 Shen last was seeing a lot of play. Like it was one of the. I think that was the last time we saw Shen getting picked like just about every game. And I remember games Shen was banned or something, and then Vladimir was getting picked just for their, just so they could sit in top lane, shove for absolute ever, and then jump into a fight. And who better than Shen? Because I personally
Shen's
think,
whole
and
thing.
I tell people all the time, and some people disagree with me because they're like, "Oh, Shen doesn't do that much damage to towers." I'm like, "Okay." But like
doesn't need
he
to.
can-
He's got 3 minion waves with him.
yeah, I'm gonna say like he can, and a Z0 portal, but he shoves top lane forever, and then if he wants to get in a fight, he can. He's got 2 ways into that fight: teleport and stand united. Stand united if it's up, and teleport if it isn't. And then now stand united's going to be up more often, so less time for him to need to be standing next to his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at his win rate on NA. Like, it doesn't seem. Or, sorry, his win rate on Summoner's Rift in. Actually, we'll just go ring solo. But yeah, it doesn't seem like his win rate has actually changed a whole lot since. It looks like it might have slightly increased since this patch came through. So I'm a bit surprised because I would have thought like such
I
a
don't
big
feel
buff.
like solo queue would see that much difference.
Okay, well let's have a look at rank 5v5.
Yeah, I can tell you from personal experience, if people don't really understand what Shen's ultimate does, you're basically just wasting your time.
Yeah, it seems only even in rank 5v5, like it's only marginal at best that his win rate has improved.
Well, I can't imagine he's getting picked that much more often. Like, we know how much pro play affects people's picks in games.
Yeah, his pick pick rate has
probably
gone
not-
up a bit.
Yeah, I reckon
Diamond.
if we see him in a couple like LCS games or something, everyone's gonna be like, "All aboard the Shen train, baby! Choo
Yeah.
choo!"
Like, yeah, I mean, I think there is real potential in that in the cooldown reduction because I mean, it makes him what like. So it was what was it before? So it's gone. It's get the calculator out. 120 by 160. Like it's like quite a significant like improvement. So anyway, I think we will eventually see more of Shen because it's 120 seconds is not a long cooldown. Well, and then you add in CDR, so you're talking about what. Like just over a minute. That's pretty often to be teleporting. So, anyway,
Well, Shen doesn't necessarily build a lot of cooldown reduction. Like, it's not inherent to his build. He'll pick up a Spirit Visage, sure.
yeah.
But not much more than that.
Well, I mean, a frozen heart, I guess,
Excuse me.
if you get that. I mean, so maybe it's only 20% CDR because
Ooh, and
once you add
then
masteries and the rest of
command
it. So,
Shen.
but still, we're still talking about under 100 seconds. That's a pretty short cooldown when you're looking at sort of late game in Summoner's Rift. So,
Yeah. I quite like the idea of late game Shen with a banner of command. Just especially against like a Vladimir or an AP split pusher, because just completely.
Yeah. Actually, that'd be pretty good against
Give
Vlad.
yourself a serious just.
I did
Uber
that not
minion.
that long ago. That was
Really?
fun. Like
That's-
this Vladimir was being a pain in the ass, and I'm like, oh, he's pushing that tower. Don't worry, I have a cunning plan. I said a cannon minion. I walked into his lane while he was trying to clear a wave, upgraded a minion, left, and he was like, that motherfucker, and he walked away.
What am I meant to do here? I can't do anything under these conditions.
There's this great video where they bunched up a bunch of they use ZZ portals to like enclose the front of the
They caused the
Nexus
traffic jam.
and traffic and just like and then she's Banner of Command to turn like all of them into super minions and they just flooded the base with all these like Banner of Commanded minions. It was pretty good.
Like, that's like old Beta Heimerdinger strats.
Yeah. That video is pretty awesome.
All right, Tristana, Steve's favorite marksman. So the
Former
Q,
famous marksman.
when Q is active, you reduce the it basically attacks while her Q is active. Now reduce the cooldown of explosive charge by half a second, which is doubled against champions. And the cooldown of explosive charge has been reduced. Is increased by half a second, maybe a second.
2 seconds at max.
2
rank.
seconds at max rank. I don't know why they would.
Second, half a sec. Oh, 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds.
Yeah. It's okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not.
If she doesn't
I would have thought they'd just go straight. Like, did they just have the Q change and not have the increase on the cooldown? That was what I thought they might would go possibly go for. But
Well, I mean, a late game Tristana's like the smart late game Tristana is only using explosive charge on towers. Why do you need to up the cooldown for? Like, if she starts casting explosive charge on champions, then she's losing an extra 1.5 seconds that she could be using critting people's face off.
Yeah. But, like, how many auto attacks are you going to get off before the tower's destroyed? 3. You know? That's not going to get explosive charge off a cooldown. I think that's just meh. I think Tristana really is just meh all around. Like, she just doesn't... She's not powerful anymore. She does She does what other ADCs do at the moment, but without, the benefits or, like, there's no reason to pick Tristana when you've got Cogball or Vayne or Twitch. Like, all of these others... Caitlyn, yeah, all of these guys are going to do what Tristana does, but less bouncing around, but more effective.
They had a really, strange idea for her, though. It was like, this AD carry needs to be jumping on everyone. Whereas an AD carry is supposed to sort of stand back and just sort of try not to die and shoot whatever's in front of her. And they were like, nope, she's going to be risky and dangerous and jumping on people all the time. This is basically like making Imp a champion. Because that's what Imp used to do. He used to jump into stupid fights and die all the time.
I mean, it's... I guess it's... I mean, I don't have a problem with, a late-game tower pusher. I mean, I think that's probably an avenue that is kind of not really being explored, that much, so... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's...
I think her biggest problem...
or Caitlyn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think her biggest problem, she lost too much range. It's so much... it's really laughable how little range she has now compared to what she used to have. I think they need to up her passive again by at least 1 per level, because they down at about 2 or 3 or something. Put it up by 1 more. You have to do it.
Or just set it at maximum and give her a new passive. Like, just make that her range from now on, because really the scaling passive, all it does is weaken her early. It doesn't strengthen her late, because other champions still outrange her.
Yeah.
That didn't used to be the case. Like, sure, a couple of seconds here on Twitch.
With the introduction of people like Jinx, Jinx who does get increased range from rockets, and Cogmore still being in the game, and Caitlyn still being in the game. I mean, she's not the only one with long range, baby. And Jinx is really good at taking down towers as well. And Cogmore can go through the whole goddamn team, and Jinx can go through the whole goddamn team. And Tristana's sort of got to wait for cleanup time. She doesn't do anything absolutely spectacular with that range other than shoot towers. And any AD carry is good at shooting towers because, hey, they have 500 on AD. Of course they're going to deal 1 billion damage to a tower.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a work in progress. Eventually, I guess. Well, I guess they sort of need to decide what sort of identity she's going to have. I mean, I like the concept that they're going for, and I think they can work it. They can sort of work with it to make it work. I guess they probably just haven't hit that point yet because they maybe don't have a clear idea of exactly what they want it to be.
Yeah. Well, if she did exactly what she's doing now, but had AP scaling only, then like
Please God, no.
like her auto attacks were based on AP or something like that, then you could see her appearing in the mid lane, and not in the bot lane because there's really there's no reason to take her bot lane, But her resets from the high amounts of burst damage from that screams mid laner to me, and you don't need to worry about a support getting in there and blocking your CC on Braum or knocking you up and just completely screwing up your all in, Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, maybe. Anyway, let's talk about Syndra.
Maybe I'm just still bitter from the rework. I don't like the new Tristana. I loved the old one, like easily my favorite ADC. Now I'm like, what is
I think
this?
the new. I think the new one,
if you didn't see the VOD, that's me nodding my head very vigorously.
I think the new one is infinitely more fun and more interesting than the old one, but the new one doesn't do anything. The new one doesn't do what the new one should do as well as the new one should.
So the new one is more fun every time you pick her, which is never. That's
yeah, that's it.
The average amount of fun you had was better pre-Tristana.
Because you actually got picked.
Because you played her.
Yeah.
I hear Cinderhawk got some changes.
Yeah. Yeah, so the health, it loses 50 health, and the combined cost, like the total cost of the item goes up by 50 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Small change, but
good.
Yeah, still a good item.
You get less health when you first buy it.
Do you?
There you go. Yes, you get less health when you buy it because you're getting less out of the bonus because it's down by 50, and you're getting less health from its base because it's down by 50.
It makes the health that you get from it less gold efficient.
Oh yeah, okay, I see. Yep.
That's right, I got you back. I'll translate for you.
Thanks, man.
How does that not make sense to you? You get less health from the item. That's all I said.
You know, it doesn't matter.
I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, okay, with the bonus health. Yep, okay. Yeah, it's still a great item. And I think, the only other thing that's left is the Gromp Smite buff. And that's been the damage scaling goes from 10% bonus health to 5%. I don't think many people probably factored that in a whole lot to begin with. So, I can't say big deal, but...
Trinity Force. Like, I think it's just the Gromp Smite buff in combination with the just sheer amount of tanks. Yeah. This was more powerful than it was when they were designing the Gromp buff,
Yeah.
So they're probably just like, oh, whoops. Let's try
I think
everything be awesome about being a tank.
I mean, I think they buffed, or they changed the nature of the buff to work off bonus health at the same time as they buffed tanks across the board. So,
was that the same patch?
I think so.
Oh.
I think that was when Nautilus's
probably just
changes came through.
But talk about patch notes for like 9 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's all blurry.
Blurring to one. The endless patch notes.
Welcome to patch 5.
Yeah, that's it.
The patch 5 podcast.
Well, God, that was just a free thorn mail at that point. 10% bonus health every time someone hits you. That's a free thorn mail. Completely negates all AD carry lifesteal, and was one of those things that just made AD carries not good.
Well, I've seen a lot of salty AD carries dealing with the metagame right now. They're just like, everyone's building all these tanky items, and we just can't deal with it. And so that seems to be the main community area of concern.
You know what, you filthy AD carries? Next patch, you are getting a tank shredding item, okay? It's coming. Next patch, it's called the Black Cleaver. And next patch, it's going to build out of a phage, and it's going to be a better item. It's going to be an easier item to build, and you can stop freaking complaining because that's going to kill all your tanks because it's going to shred their armor by 30%. It's coming, baby. The Black Cleaver's inbound. It's going to give you the Rage passive. You're going to be Super Kitey Man, 6 million.
Are we going to have another League of Cleavers? Is that the next patch?
Only if it stacks.
Well, see, the Black Cleaver, because the old one gave flat penetration, the new one won't give flat penetration, so it's not as good of an all-round item, so I don't see it becoming a League of Cleavers anymore. Again, sorry. So it's specifically changed to, it's a tank shredding item. Have it.
Unless it'd be cool if the phage thing, like, it procced, like, it stacked additively, so every time you get an auto attack while it's still going, you get another stack. And you get that thing where, have you seen the Malphite Infinite Speed video from Earth?
No, I haven't.
Oh, basically, because this is basically the last patch note, so we can waffle for a bit. But basically, you had Malphites on both teams. You had Lulu, Karma, like Zillion, like all these champions that gave move speed buffs, Sona, and then the Malphites kept using their
still movement speed.
The still movement. So basically, they kept stealing movement speed off each other until they pretty much had infinite move speed. And it's like they moved so fast you couldn't even see them move across the map. Like they go to the end of the thing and back in like 0.25 of a second.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, I gotta see this video.
I gotta find the thing for you
immediately after the podcast.
Yeah. All right, I think that does it. Anyway, we're at the end. We're starting to waffle.
Baby.
I'm now looking for YouTube videos. It's all good. All right. This has been episode 83. Mate, don't forget that there's the IWC tomorrow. Join me. Maybe not those other guys because they're losers and they're going to hang out somewhere else. In the TeamSpeak, T-Force TeamSpeak, ts.trinityforcepodcast.com. Within the TeamSpeak client, I'll be in the OzLoL room. And yeah, we'll be back again next week.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.